What's up, everybody? It's Coach Cryptos. As I mentioned earlier today, I was going to make a video just quickly explaining BitCash Stable and the BitCash dollar, BitCash gold, BitCash, how everything works together in regards to the supply. And what I want to do is be as quick as I possibly can in terms of explaining that, so this can be easily digestible, and you guys can have a good feel for it, and we can have further discussions back in the group chat. Okay, so BitCash Stable. All right. Just an overview, the reason that this thing exists, right? Just the same reason other stable coins exist, price volatility in regards to cryptocurrency, right? Most people aren't going to take Bitcoin as a payment. You take it as a payment, you continue in transaction throughout the course of your business day. Throughout that business day, all of a sudden, the Bitcoin price drops, and this $100 pair of shoes that you sold as a vendor or a retailer, all of a sudden is worth $80 just simply because you use Bitcoin, and that's problematic, right? And so essentially, BitCash Stable secures the value of BitCash for the short, medium, and long term, just making it easier to integrate in the financial system, easier to use as a retailer or store value. All right, so let's talk about our three currencies that are on all on-chain assets for us, all on the BitCash blockchain. Is number one is BitCash, is the volatile cryptocurrency, and the price lasts short term, right? Right now it's kind of been on an upward trend, all right. But we've seen it be on an upward trend before. We've seen it be on a downward trend. You really just don't know where it's going to go, right? I'm hoping it just keeps going up, but heck, it's cryptocurrency, so who knows, right? The medium term, BitCash dollar, okay? That's USD peg, okay? I use fiat peg. I should have wrote USD there, but that's pegged to US dollar. All right. Why is that medium term? Well, the reality of it is just dollar is going to deal with inflation, right? You hear those stories if you're from the States about how when your parents had a dollar when they were a kid, they could go to the store and buy a Coke and a bag of chips and a movie ticket, and now you can't get any of that for $1. All right, and then for the long-term asset, it's gold peg. All right, that's BitCash gold. Okay, I use the term peg very intentionally. Okay, so this makes a lot of sense when we look at the next slide. So peg. Essentially, pegged is basically saying that a currency is pegged to is pegged to a dollar. Okay, I use the definition to explain the definition. I use the word to explain the definition, but essentially, it's just equal to. All right. Now, put backed on here. We aren't backed by anything except the protocol, right? Except this algorithmic mint and burn protocol that we have. There's not a gold vault sitting anywhere near anybody from the BitCash team's house. There's not USD, vault that's backing BitCash dollar, right? That doesn't exist, right? This is completely pegged. BitCash dollar is pegged to USD. It's equivalent to USD. BitCash gold is equivalent to the price of gold, okay? And we use algorithm in order to achieve that, and a protocol in order to achieve that. So let's check that out a little bit. All right, real quick, let's get into some brief specifics of our coin. We are proof of work, a consensus method. I know Telegram is not a huge mining community there. I know there's a few people that mine there, but we have a ton of miners that dedicate their GPUs and their computers to mining BitCash, right? And we just recently forked the X16RV2. That's the algorithm that Raven uses, and has recently forked to as well. Our block time is 1 minute, and so every minute, for the most part, right, approximately every minute, a GPU or a pool finds a block, and the block is rewarded, and we do have a block reward fee, and we talk about how we use the block reward fee in our transparency report every quarter. And then this last number, right? This is what the question popped up. This is kind of how this topic got going today, was the max supply, right? So the max supply when BitCash launched was 100 million. Then we introduced BitCash Stable, and the max supply no longer exists, right? There is no limit anymore. The reason this number is still significant, though, this is how many BitCash can be mined over the course of, I don't know how many years that's going to last, but once we hit 100 million BitCash that has been mined at one, block time, 1 minute every single day, at 21.5 BitCash, a reward. Once 100 million of those things have been mined, mining will cease, and BitCash will be all over the place, all over the world, hopefully. So the max supply, the reason that it no longer exists is because of the protocol that exists, all right, and the algorithm that I just recently talked about. So let's go to the next screen here. We'll talk about it. Algorithmic mint and burn. Okay, so the protocol that allows users to turn BitCash into BitCash dollars, or BitCash dollars into BitCash gold, BitCash dollars back to BitCash, BitCash gold back to BitCash, right? It's basically a algorithmic mint and burn system. And so just to briefly define mint, that's basically creating BitCash, BitCash dollar, or BitCash gold, and adding it to the circulating supply. Okay, burning, all right, is destroying the BitCash, BitCash dollar, or BitCash gold, and that burns it from the supply. All right, so essentially, if I had 10,000 BitCash dollars, right, which I know that's not the case, but if I had 10,000 BitCash dollars sitting in my BitCash wallet, and I clicked the button and said, I want to go back to BitCash, and I flipped it back over to BitCash, what you would see on one of the screens here, I'm going to show you in a second, that shows all of our statistics from in regard to our BitCash Stable protocol. You will see that number significantly increase, all right, because basically I just created a ton of BitCash by burning those BitCash dollars. And on the screen too that you're going to see here in a second, you will see the BitCash dollar supply significantly decrease, because we do keep up with all that. All right, so that's how the mint burn works. All right, so just really quick, I'm going to graze the surface on all this information in regards to exactly how price points are found in terms of the in terms of how we move BitCash to BitCash dollar and BitCash dollar back to BitCash. I'm going to briefly explain that, and then if you want to get detailed, we can talk more in the Discord or Telegram, and we can also read the white paper. All right, so BitCash stores 3 price pairs at the end of the block headers. These prices are pulled from exchange prices, and then they take the average of 2 prices, which are closest together, calculate the effective price for each block. If you use one price for the exchange of BitCash to BitCash dollar, use the other price for BitCash dollar and BitCash. So if you use the desktop wallet, you've seen these 2 different prices that pop up, and this is how they are calculated. They pull the prices from stacks, and they're verified by some private keys, and then they use average from these 3 different prices. The 2 are closest together to try to be as efficient as they can, and these are stamped on every block header. So every block has a BitCash to BitCash dollar price and a BitCash dollar to BitCash price. Okay, so that, like I said, that can be definitely explained in a little bit more depth, but I just wanted to graze the surface here. All right, so here's what's important to understand. All right, and this is kind of honestly when I decided I was going to make the video, as we were discussing this today. Real quick before I talk about the average, exchange liquidity is vital in terms of a mint and burn stable protocol. There's 2 awesome projects that are out there, Haven and Equilibria, and there's some other projects that are even hopping into the space with Reserve Protocol and NAS Initiative, and it's quite a few coins that are trying to hop in and crack the code on this. But exchange liquidity is vital, and these projects, they talk about it. It is, and when we dove in this thing first, we knew that we were going to be dealing with having low exchange volume, that we could potentially open up some doors to some trouble, and we kind of had some safeguards and some stuff to prepare for that. So essentially, what happened was within 3 weeks of us initially implementing BitCash Stable and introducing BitCash Dollar, you had a big whale, big holder, somebody who mined a ton of BitCash, bought a ton of BitCash before BitCash Dollar was introduced. What they did was probably took a big chunk of their BitCash, put it in a BitCash Dollar while the price was relatively high, and then took the remaining BitCash, went to an exchange, dumped the heck out of it, then went to their wallet and then minted BitCash, right? So they burnt their BitCash dollars, moved it back to BitCash. Oh yeah, so what happened? Right? The price was lower, so obviously in order to reach the USD equivalent, they created a ton more BitCash. Now, what they could have done was just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And all you start doing is building hyperinflation and just get somebody creating a shit ton of BitCash. All right. And so what we did was we put a halt on the BitCash Stable feature, and then we implemented a 7-day moving average. And so we had a hard fork, and essentially what we started having was these 2 price points. And so if you look at your desktop wallet, you do see those 2 prices that are in there. All right, so that should be the last slide there. Real quick, let me pull up this deal here. So if you look at the bottom of choosebitcash.com, you'll see this BitCash and BitCash dollar supply. This really is our whole stable feature supply. As you see, price of gold dollars getting set and getting ready to get thrown in there as well. All right, so real fast. These 2 numbers pop up in our wallet as well, and they're always changing like I said, every block, right? Because every block is retrieving this information, signing with private keys. But you get a price for converting dollar into BitCash, right? You get a price for converting BitCash into BitCash dollar, all right? And basically allowing these 2 different prices allows it's kind of a protectionary cause, like I mentioned, to help deter people from just minting and burning and hyperinflating BitCash. And so as volume has significantly increased, I kind of said this here on my video about BitCash Gold, as volume is continuing to increase, it's going to become harder and harder. So that's why it's important that we have a ton of use cases, so we can get a ton of people spending time on exchanges, buying BitCash, selling BitCash, trading BitCash, so the volume can continue to increase. This can be harder. Once this becomes harder, then we can minimize the average, from a 7-day to maybe a 3-day to maybe just one spot price whenever we get on multiple exchanges and we have tons of volume and tons of liquidity. So anyways, that's a huge point for us, and that's why we do have so many other features, and we're trying to work with so many other people so we can continue to increase the use case for BitCash and get people using it and create some demand for it. All right, so anyways, as you see here, 2 prices, the higher price, that's the dollar back in the BitCash, so people aren't able to mint more BitCash. So like I said earlier today in Telegram, we were kind of talking about this, and I didn't want people to get the idea that it would be great to just go back and forth to BitCash and BitCash dollar, because if you do that within seconds, you're going to mint BitCash dollar at 3.2 cents, and then if you go right back to it, you're going to mint it at 3.6 cents, and you're going to lose some BitCash. And you're going to be scratching your head wondering what the hell happened, and that's going to be the reason why. Okay, it's a protectionary cause. So the reality of it is this truly is for a medium and a long-term hold. You have to make sure when you mint BitCash dollars that you kind of know at what price point that you did it. So when you mint BitCash back, that you do that you're doing it to where you're either going to that you're going to get more BitCash, all right, not necessarily lose because of these moving averages. Okay, so anyways, just to kind of roll through the last of this, because this all have we will have the price of BitCash gold in here, or the price of the gold dollar, right, which are going to be the exact same, right? In terms of BitCash gold, there's nothing, right? There's 2 price points and there's the spot price, right? So you can trade back and forth from dollar to gold, and you won't lose anything, or hopefully you can gain by just holding on to it and hoping the price increases. All right, currently the BitCash dollar supplies, there's 2,097 BitCash dollars floating around there somewhere right now. Okay, so here's a supply of everything was converted into BitCash dollar right now. So essentially, this is our market cap price. Supply of everything was converted into BitCash right now. So if everything was BitCash dollars didn't exist here in a little bit when BitCash gold is existing as well. This will be the place where you can always find out what the circulating supply is. Okay, supply we had. Let me say this before I move on to this part. This is important because sometimes people go to CoinMarketCap and CoinGecko and places like that, and they'll be close, but oftentimes it's delayed. This is all about as close as you're going to get in terms of knowing what's going on, knowing who's moving in and out of what. All right, supply. If we did not have the stable feature, okay, so now you can see why we don't have a max supply, because right now, if we didn't, at BitCash, we're still 100 million max supply. This is where we will be sitting at right here, this number. But unfortunately, not unfortunately, I guess it's fortunate because people are using our protocols, right? There's been more created than what the supply is right now. So if we didn't have the stable feature, so that kind of shows you a little bit how this thing moves back and forth. So number of BitCash currently converted into BitCash dollars. So 57,000 BitCash. That makes that number right there. Okay. 57,573. So BitCash mint through the stable feature. All right, so there's almost been 600,000 BitCash that has kind of moved through our stable feature, which only features BitCash dollar right now. That's going to increase more. Number one, as the project becomes more popular, and then number two, as BitCash Gold is implemented here next month. All right, and then max supply if the price would not move. All right. And then BitCash to be mined. Okay, like I said, there's 100 million BitCash to be mined, and once that's hit, no more mining. Okay, so hopefully that was a decent video to help you kind of understand exactly what this BitCash stable thing is all about, how it affects the supply, why there is no limit on the supply anymore. And I'll be making some more videos about some other features and all that good stuff. If you guys ever have questions, please hit me up. See you guys next time.